So let's move on to class. So last class we discussed about what is a Docker file and how to write a Docker file and what is the Docker instructions. And we yesterday last class we discussed, we see example also few Docker instructions, right? Today we'll see continuation. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's fine. So Docker file is the text file. If anyone is asking, so what is Docker file? So Docker file is the text file and it contains all Docker instructions, and these instructions Docker daemon will execute top to bottom. So what is the default file name? Docker file. Default file name is Docker file only. So this is the Docker file. This is the we are creating so Docker file, and already these are the instructions. So already you know what is from maintainer and so run and copy and add and work dir and so user and so user and cmd entry point cmd entry point expose and these are the some mostly we are using so Docker instructions. Okay, so Docker instructions last class we seen, right? So Docker instructions, Docker file. What is a Docker file? Docker file, if you go here, so that everything already they given. So already last class we know how to copy files from local to container, and also you know, right, so how to add. So if you want to connect remote, from remote to download any files, that case we can use add. And you know, right, what is from create new stage build from the base image. Execute the build commands. Execute build commands. In that case, we should go for run and all. Now we'll see continuation how it will work. Now this is the set environment variables from already know env expose. So this is the port number. If you want to set any port number and all, that case we go for expose and set environment variable env, and so use build time variable. That case we can use arg, and so now this is the user. If set the user and group, if you want to run particular user, that case we can use this one and work directory. We'll see a few more things. Now first let me connect to my instance, and so ls and cat space so Docker file. So this is the yesterday already we know. So already yesterday we created. Now let me create a rename it me, and if you want to we can update same file also. If you want to we can update same file also, but anyway I am going to use rename it. Okay. Now how to create Docker file? Sudo vi docker docker file, sudo vi docker file. Now observe here, sudo vi docker file. Now which is the insert from, which is the from means base image, you know, right? Which image you want, that is your wish. Okay, whatever you want, so whatever you want we can select. Now maintainer already you know. Now run, you know, right, what is run? With the help of we can execute, we can run, we can. So what is the run? So with the help of run we can run all execute build commands. If any linux commands we can update here. So for example, I want to execute something, you know, right, so apt apt update hyphen y if you want to update, and so update, or if you want to install whatever you want. Suppose if we have multiple commands, directly we can use and also. Okay, instead of writing multiple lines, simply we can use and so we can use so apt install install wget hyphen y. Now got it. So this command we can write two lines also. Clear, Karthik? Instead of writing so multiple run commands, and so within the single command we can add ampersand and we can add whatever we want, we can add it. I hope you got it, Karthik. See here, like this also
Yeah.
we can write, or else we can write two lines. Instead of this is the increase code, right? So every time we can write like this also. Run, everything we can write whatever we want. Like this also we can add. So this is the lines of code will increase, and this is a performance issue. That is the reason. Simply we are going to write like this also. This is the like this also. Now, if you want to copy already, so CMD. If you want to copy anything, we are using CMD. If you want to copy anything, we are using CMD also. So CMD already Now I am using so work user. User means which user you want to execute. So for example, I want to run root user and work directory. Right? Work directory, work dir. Work dir means by default I want to go to this OPT directory. If I connect my container, which directory you want to go by default? I hope you got it right. See here, work dir. So work dir means if I connect any container. So if I connect any container, if I connect if I connect any container, so by default which path you want to go? By default which path you want to go? That case we can go for work dir. See here. So this is work dir. Work dir means if you want to go to change working directory, right? So if you connect any container, so first escape colon save. Now observe here Docker images. So Docker images. Do you have any images? I have these images. Let me remove all these things. Docker RMI RMI IDs, image IDs. Copy this one, paste it, and paste it. Copy this one, copy this one, paste it. Now I deleted. So Docker ps-a all containers. I don't have anything. Now I'm going to create one container. See here, uh, Docker, Docker. 1 second. Okay. Done. Now, so Docker, if you want to create container, Docker run -it and image name. Okay. Now container is created. Now see here. Now I connect to container. I am in which path, Karthik? By default, you are in root slash. Correct? Yes or no? Default, you are in which path? Root path only. That is a root directory. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I don't want like this. I want by default I want to go to some particular path. That is nothing but work dir. If you want to go that particular path, if you want to go that particular path, so that case we can go for a slash. If you go to particular path, and in that case we need to use work dir and set the user. If you want to execute particular user, that case we can use. And so if you want to environment, set environment variable and arguments also. Use a build time arguments. Now see here, what is this env? Okay, Docker env env example file. So environment variable. Right? In Windows we are setting some environment variables. In Windows we are setting some environment variables, right? Same way here also we can set some environment variables. Env en env Docker env. Okay, file. So this is the environment variable. Environment variable is nothing but so again it is coming, right? Click on this. Now see here environment env instruction set the environment variables. So in Windows how we are setting environment variable, Karthik? So if you go to here my computer, if you go to here my computer and so right click and go to properties, and here there is, if you type env we are setting some environment variable, right? If you click on this environment variables, here we are setting java path, maven path, some variables we are setting, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is the same way how to set in Docker file. So I want to set some variables. I want to read that variables. So that case, this is the we can declare like this. We can declare. See here, env instructions set the environment variables key to the value. This is the key. This is the value. This left side is nothing but key. This is the value. This is the key. This is the value. This is the key. This is the value. This value will be environment for all subsequent instructions in the build stage. While creating your image, it is useful in all stages. Now how to call this one and all, we can use it. Now see here, add run add. See here, yes, they are giving something run and so apt get update run mount example from auto call target mode from all are run only. So environment env dbn environment key and value. And so if you want to, we can call so this in the env equal to hyphen key also we can call it. See, the environment variable set using env it persists when the container is run from the so resulting image. You can view this value using the docker inspect. Docker inspect also we can use these values. First simply I am going to add one variable, one something. Okay, control pq. Now vi docker sudo vi enters. Now env. So now see here, env how to set environment variable. This is the name, this is the value. So now see here, course, 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 whatever you want, that is your wish. Okay, for example, course course equal to I am giving so DevOps. Now see here, now env env. One second. env env and course. Next env, this is the key value we can give any name. Okay, so for example I give a name equal to so something I am giving. See here, cut. Okay, escape. So now this is the work here. I am using a user root and environment variable I declare, and this and all we can set it. See here, we can see here docker. Now docker build hyphen t. What is the image name? I am using test colon version number view and current directory. What is this? apt internal load metadata docker latest latest. Ooh, something typo mistake. What is that error? Ubuntu, right? Image name problem. Ubuntu, correct? bun Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu. Escape colon x. Now again run it. Docker build hyphen c. Now see here, everything it is working. First that is the, so now it is first pull that image and the second time it is executing, and see here all layers what is build and everything it is done. Now if you observe here second, so here you executed two steps. So here run apt get update and apt install. Instead of writing two lines we can, and work directory and exposing image is ready. Now check it, docker inspect. Docker inspect. First check it image is created or not. Clear the image. Docker images. Docker images. Okay. Docker inspect. Docker inspect. What is the image name or ID? We can give. This is my image ID. Copy this one and paste it. Now, if you observe here, this is the Docker inspector. So here we can find those all this whatever we declare everything we can find here. So this is my image name. This is my version, and this is a comment and all. We can set already all these things. And so what is this? And cmd and see here work directory. What is the default work directory? opt work directory opt. And if you are this is the operating system related information and all. And so now somewhere we can see, right, env where we set env. Now see here, course equal to DevOps, name equal to environment variables. Env, environment variables already set. User local sbin, user local bin. So we can see all this information in our with the help of Docker instructions. Clear, Karthik? Anyone any doubt here? So
No,
if you
sir.
want to know more about, we can. Now I'm going to create, my image is ready. Now I'm going to create container. See here. So Docker images. Okay. Now how to create container? Docker run hyphen it. Docker run hyphen it. And I am going to use which image? My image. Test colon and v1. Test colon v1. Correct. Now see here. If we create container, by default it will go to which path? I created container. Generally, if we create
To
container,
OPT.
generally it is in root, right? Earlier it is in only slash root. Now it is in opt directory. Why it is directly go to that path? In my Docker file, already I given work dir slash opt. So whenever if we connect container, by default I want to go to that path. అంటే నాకు default గా ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలి? ఆ particular directory connect అవ్వాలి. So that case we can use work dir. I hope you got it, Karthik.
Yes, sir.
So that case mostly we are using so work dir. Work dir means if you want to go to that particular, see here, so change working directory. I want to go to that particular. We'll see later volume. You don't know. And user already I run an user and all. Now there is a CMD and entry point. CMD and entry point. Now CMD. This is a especially default command. CMD. What is CMD? Interval. Also, most of the people they are asking what is difference between CMD and entry point. Very very important. CMD instruction set the command to execute when running a container from the image. So when it is executing, while creating the container, while running the container only it will execute. So these are the syntax. These are the syntax. We can pass two ways. We can pass two ways. And so how many ways we can pass? Now we can check it. CMD. Mm. So CMD and entry point. Now see here. CMD instructions will execute commands. CMD commands and instructions will be executed while creating a container. So when this command, this CMD is executing while creating containers only. CMD instructions can be used to start the process inside the container. So mostly while creating container it will execute, and the CMD instruction can be start the process inside the container. Now this is two ways we can call CMD command. CMD, one is shell form, other one is executable form. One is shell form, other one is executable form. Shell means directly we can pass like this CMD. See here, this is the shell form. CMD Java, and if you know right how to extract jar files and all. Executable form means we need to use this is the square bracket. So we can pass two ways. That is your wish. Whatever you want, we can pass it. One is shell form, and the second one is executable form. Second one is executable form. Now got it. Now we'll see how to execute, how it will run and all, how it will run and all. Now I'm going to use a CMD, and entry point also same. Entry point, entry point also same. We'll see difference. Entry point. See here, entry point allows to configure containers that will run as executable. So this is also has two possible forms. One is shell form, and one is this is the executable form, and this is the shell form. This is the executable form and this is the shell form. We can pass like this or we can pass like this. We can understand if we see. Now see here Docker run image and Docker run image -d, and so while we can entry point also we can flag it. How it will run now we'll see example. Now see here, this is the entry point top -b. You know right what is top command? What is top command? Linux top. This is the Linux command. Linux right? So this is the Linux. So what is the top command? Which information we can see, Karthik? Top. We can see memory, all information. Top means so process, which are the process PID is running and how much it is occupying, CPU usage, memory usage, and the total memory, used memory, free memory. Now got it? And also we can use one more command also, free command, free space -m. So what is the total memory? What is the used memory? What is the free space memory? I hope you got it right. These are the Linux commands. Free means only memory related information. Top means it will display entire information. See here, average, load average, and what are the total task running task, sleeping task, stop task, and also total memory and free space, free memory, used memory, everything we can see here. These are the running processes. Any doubt here, Karthik?
No, sir.
Okay, same thing, how to call in our Docker file. Top command in any command, not only this one, any Linux commands. Now see here, sudo vi Docker file, sudo vi Docker file, insert. Now I am going to use, so already right, this and all I am going to comment it, or we can keep it also, no problem. Okay, now I am going to use one more command, cmd. So when this cmd instructions will execute, we can pass two ways. One is shell form and is one is shell form, one is command. This is the base form. We can write two ways, we can pass it, shell form or executable form. Whatever you want we can pass it, that is your wish. Clear? Now I am using cmd, cmd. So here I am using so entry point top -b and cmd -c. Now how see you can use the entry point to set the fairly stable default commands and arguments. Then we can use either cmd to set additional arguments. If you want to see any additional arguments, we can use cmd. Now anyway, I'm going to use only one. Don't confuse here, cmd. And so I'm using anyway, that is your wish. So echo, and just I'm giving. We can give two ways. Now see here, echo, cmd echo. This is a which form? Executable form or shell form? This is the executable bracket. If you use a square brackets means this is the executable form. If you are not using anything, that is the shell form. If you are not using anything, that is the shell form. Clear? Two ways we can pass. We can pass like this also, or we can pass directly also. That is your wish. Now simply I written one echo statement. So cmd echo welcome to DevOps. This is the this is the this is the executable say. This is the executable syntax. Now I am going to escape colon x. I am going to create image. See here, when cmd command will execute, Karthik, while creating image or container, when cmd instructions will be executed.
Image.
Cmd will be executed while see here, cmd instructions will execute commands. Cmd commands instruction will be executed while creating container, not image. ఎప్పుడు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది ఈ కమాండ్? While creating the container, not an image.
Content.
Image only. Now see here, Docker build -t. Okay, test. I am using cmd colon, for example, v1 and current directory. Now see here. So now this is the image. My image is ready. Docker images. Docker images. My image is ready. Now observe here. My images is ready. My image ready. See here. What is this? Test cmd. Now I'm going to create container. Now we can see output. So Docker run -it interactive terminal. What is this ID? This is my ID, image ID. Paste it. Now see here. Now you can see that output. See here. Welcome to DevOps. When executed cmd command while creating image or while creating container?
And creating container.
Container only. Just remember, very very important. CMD instructions will be executed while creating the container, but run will execute while creating image only. Run instruction ఎప్పుడు execute అవుతుంది? While creating image. CMD entry point while creating containers only. CMD and execute while creating containers only. See here, this is also same. Entry point will execute the commands. Entry point instructions will be executed while creating container. Both are creating, executing while creating containers only. But if we come to run instructions will execute while creating image. Run అనేది ఎప్పుడు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది? While creating image only, not while creating container. Clear? Any doubt here? Karthik? Clear?
No, sir.
Okay. Now see here, executed. Now I am going to add one more line. See here, welcome to DevOps. Now one more. So sudo vi docker file. Now try to understand. Now I am going to add insert. I am going to add one more cmd command. What is happening? cmd. Now I am using so echo. Just I want to print something. That's it. Echo. Welcome to this is right. Docker class. Now just I am giving a Docker class. So this is the that's it. Escape colon. Now can you expect? Can you expect also? Okay. Insert. Go to here. Insert. Go to here. That's it. Escape colon x. Now I'm going to build the image. Now see here, docker build -t and test cmd colon. I'm giving two. Now one more image. Now docker run. Now I given two cmd commands, right? What is the output? Can you guess it, Karthik? Cat space docker file. So earlier I added only one line. Now welcome to DevOps, it is printed while creating container. Now added one more CMD. Now Docker class. Now what is the output? If I create container, what is the output? Output ఏమో చెప్పగలరా? Docker run -it. What is the output? Only one line or only two lines or nothing? Now added two times echo statement, two times CMD command. So now see here,
రెండు ప్రింట్ అవుతాయి.
రెండు print అవుతాయి.
Docker class is the output.
Docker run -it, Docker run -it. Last one, which is two, right? This one. This is the last. Recently I created. So recently I created. Now see here. Now we can see only one line. Docker class. What about Docker welcome to DevOps? So what is the CMD behavior means? Even though if we add more CMD commands, it is overriding, and finally we will display, it will print it will print only which is the last cmd, that one only it will print while creating the container. Remaining all are overriding. Now got it? Suppose if I write 10 cmd commands, what is the output? Which is the last one? Now see here, if I write like this, now that is the behavior of cmd, that is the behavior of cmd. Now got it? For example, cmd cmd, I am going to write one more. I am going to write one more echo. I am going to write more echo and also Karthik. Now I am giving see here. Now I am giving Karthik. Now what is the output? What is the output in this case? ఏమొస్తుంది Karthik? So CMD behavior even if you add multiple CMDs, Internally it is overriding. Finally, which is the last CMD? That output only we can see in the console. Now last మనకు output ఏమొస్తుంది ఇక్కడ లాస్ట్ లో? Welcome to DevOps or Docker class or Karthik.
Karthik, sir.
Only Karthik. Now got it. This is the behavior of CMD. See here, Docker, Docker, Docker build -it, Docker build -t tag and test CMD colon 3 dot. Now see here, Docker run -it and what is this latest one? Docker images, right? Docker, clear the screen. Try to understand. This is very tricky. Images. Now see here, this is the latest one, right? So Docker Docker run -it. This is the latest one. Copy this one and paste it. Now try to understand. See here, which is the last one? Karthik. Clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Same way, CMD also. Sorry, CMD done, right? Same way, entry point also. So entry point, we can use exe from the entry point, set the file is stable. Both are same only. Now I'm going to use entry point. How it will work? Now see here. Now sudo vi entry point. I'm going to use entry point also. Now one more question. Can I add both in one Docker file? CMD and entry point? Yes, sir. But generally we are using any one only. Entry point or CMD. But if you want to, we can use both are also. If we want to, we can use both are also. Echo, echo. I am using welcome to entry point. Just I given. Now got it. See here. Now here also I am going to add one more thing. Entry point, entry, entry point and echo. Now here also I written two times. Now see here. Just I given entry point. Now in this case see output. You can easily understand. Now this is also same behavior. This is also same behavior and how it will work. Docker build same version 4 and so Docker images, clear the screen, Docker images, and which is the latest one? This is the latest one, correct? Now Docker run -it and latest one is this one. Copy this one and paste it. Copy this one and paste it. Now see here. So entry point echo Karthik. Now see here. Entry point echo Karthik. It is coming a Karthik. Now what is happening here? Actually here I given two times, right? Cat space Docker file. Now in this case here there is two times, three times. So what is the final output here up to this? Now we got it, right? Karthik only. Now entry point. Now here also it is overriding and it is taking as argument as CMD. Now see here. Now we are getting output. See what is this? We are getting output. Entry point. We are getting this one and echo Karthik. Same as it is printing. If both are using. Now I am removing these three lines. I am removing these three lines. I am using only entry point. How it will work? Now try to understand. Sudo vi docker file. Now I am going to removing CMD. Now what is the output? So ash. Comment means ash. I am commenting these lines. It won't execute. Now I am going to comment this one. Now how it will work? Escape colon X. Now observe here. Docker build -it. I am using version 5. Now Docker run. Docker images. Now Docker run hyphen it, and so 5, right? This is the 5. Copy this one and paste it. Now that's it. Now see here, we are printing only. Even if you write 2 cat space Docker file. Now, even if you write 2 entry point, and what is the output, Karthik? I written 2 entry point. I written 2 entry point. But what is the output? Which is the last one? Now got it? Entry point only it is printing. What about first one? Power writing. Power writing. Power writing. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, how to use both? How to use both? Now, one more point. Enter also very, very important. What is difference between entry point and CMD? CMD command instructions will be overridden while creating the container. See here, overridden while creating the container. So cannot be overridden, it will be creating container. So the only one difference is the both Docker file CMD instructions will not executed. If both have CMD entry point, CMD instructions will passed as an argument to the entry point. Passed as argument as the entry point. If you want to, we can use both also. If you want to, we can use both also. Even if you use CMD and entry point, CMD instructions will be passed as argument to entry point. We can pass a CMD as argument to entry point. So that case, that is the main difference. Apart from this, all are both are same purpose only. If you want to run, if you want to execute anything, if you want to run anything, we can use CMD or entry point. The main thing is, if you want to pass CMD arguments, CMD, see here, CMD instruction to pass it as argument to entry point. So that case we can use both. Now how it will work? See, simply I am going to edit same thing only, same thing only. Sudo vi, sudo vi, sudo vi Docker file. Now I don't want this one. Now I am going to use same thing and entry point. So here I am using, this is the same thing I am going to use. And you know, right, what is ls command? So or a memory command, whatever you want. See here, top command, you know, hyphen b. So first manually you run it. What is happening? Top hyphen b. Now see here, top hyphen b. What it is printing? What it is printing? What it is printing? Top hyphen b. Now after giving top hyphen b, I want to add one more thing. They are using hyphen c also. They are using hyphen c also. Now I am using c here. Control C, top hyphen B hyphen C also. Now see here, see here, it is refreshing, right? Every time it is running. Now got it, Karthik.
Yes, sir.
Hyphen C if I pass means it is running page by page, it is refreshing. Whatever you want, not only this one. For example, you know, right? Uh, ls hyphen a means what is the command? ls hyphen a. What is this meaning? You know, right? ls hyphen a, all, right? For example, ls hyphen s, you know, right? What is s means? Size, based on size. Suppose if you want to reverse r, now got it? Clear? Same command. So ls hyphen s means, you know, right? Size wise. This is output. Now it is coming which order? Alphabetic order. Now got it? It is coming which order? Some based on size. Based on size, it is printing. I want to print reverse order. You know, right? ls hyphen reverse means what is the arguments you want to pass? R means reverse order. Now see here, while. Here while dot sh last, but here while dash it is coming first. Clear, Karthik? Now here I am
Yes, sir.
passing two arguments. S means size, R means size, R means మర్చిపోయినారా Linux. size. R means reverse. Hmm. Next, there is many things, right? H, many things, human readable files, whatever you want. So now I want to pass. First time I want to run this one ls-s, and second time I want to print this one ls-sr also. How it will run? Same thing I am adding in Docker file. We can easily understand. Now here sudo vi Docker file. Now see here, first I am using entry point. Entry point. So in entry point, same like this I am passing. Okay. ls. You know, right? ls means list of files. ls means list of files. ls means a list of files. ls. Okay. Comma. One argument I am passing s. S means size. It will display size only, right? It will display size only. Now I am using cmd. I am using cmd. I am using cmd. So in cmd, cmd. Now I am using hyphen r, reverse order also. Now got it. So now cmd as this line, I am explaining this line. See here, cmd instructions will be passed as an argument for the entry point. cmd instructions will be passed as an argument for an entry point. Now try to understand. Escape colon x. Okay. Now docker build hyphen t test colon, I am using ticks. That's it. Now I'm creating container. Now observe here, docker run, docker run. Sorry, first check it, docker images. We need to practice. There is some tricky only. Docker run hyphen it. What is the image? Last one, right? Six. This one, right? Copy this one and paste it. Now, if you observe here, in this container, we don't have any particular file in that particular while creating the container. So it is printing that command only. But here we are getting 0. Why you are getting 0 means so in that container we don't have it is not running anything. Correct only, right? Executing total we are getting 0 only. Hmm. Same. Or if you want to see, we can update same thing also. Top memory, how much it is executing and all. I am using same this one. We'll see whether this are executing or not. vi vi docker file, and I am using top insert top hyphen b. Okay, here hyphen c. These are the arguments. That's it. Okay, same thing. Now escape colon x. Now execute is docker. I am using version 7. Docker images. Now clear the screen. Docker images. Now docker build. Docker run hyphen it. What is the latest one? Version 7. Remaining same thing only. Now see here, we are getting all right. See here, first only it is running B only. Now it is running C arguments hyphen C. Clear? Clear, Karthik?
Yes, sir.
Now two commands mixed. So what is this meaning? PMD instructions we can pass arguments as entry point, but entry point arguments, entry point instructions we cannot pass to CMD. Okay, just remember only PMD instructions will be passed an argument to for entry point. Whenever if we need, we can pass it. Whenever if we need, we can pass it. So that case we can use both CMD and an entry point. CMD and entry point. CMD and entry pointer. So that example and all we can see many things. Whatever we want, we can pass it. And if you want to, we can override runtime also. If you want to, we can override runtime also. So override runtime also, same thing. So that is the interval also. Most of the people they are asking what is difference between, very very important. What is difference between CMD and CMD and entry point in Docker. Very very important. See here, see entry point and CMD are similar, both are same only, but separate instructions that come complement echo other. Entry point is process that's executed inside the container. CMD is the default set of arguments that can be supplied to the entry point processor. CMD instructions we can pass argument as to entry point, that is the extra point. Remaining both are same only. Clear? Interval also very very important. Now check it how people are, they are giving some example. Whatever you understand, just remember. Anyone any doubt here? See here, CMD no entry point arguments. We can check whatever you were. Now see here, command specified in the Docker run overrides in the CMD instruction. Command specified in the Docker run command cannot override in entry point instructions. Any command passed to the Docker run commands is treated as argument to the entry point. Remaining all are giving same points only. Whatever you want, we can check it.
With DataCamp, you don't need to download Python.
Now how it will work. So they are giving some difference and all. How we can execute CMD and how we can execute entry point and all. With the example again, we can check it. Clear, Karthik? Enter very very important.
Yes, sir.
What is difference between CMD and entry point? Most of the people they are asking this question. Most of the people they are asking this question. Please try to practice or note whatever you understand. Okay. See, specify specifies the commands to run when container is starts. Both are when we executing both commands CMD and entry point while creating container only. Next second point. Only the last CMD commands in Docker file takes the effect. So even if we add multiple CMDs, which is the output we are getting? Which is the last one only. You got it? Clear? And so we can override and by passing arguments in the Docker run command. So same additional arguments passed will override it. Additional arguments passed will be appended. Additional arguments, whatever if you want to pass, so that and all we can append to the entry point. So already everything I written clearly. Just to go through this document, we can easily understand. Okay. So next they are asking, can you have both CMD and entry point in Docker file? రెండు కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చునా? Yes or no? CMD and entry point. Can you add? Can you add both CMD and entry point in Docker file? Karthik, can you
Yes,
add?
sir.
Yes. What is the answer?
You can add.
Yes. If you want to, we can add entry point, or if you want to, we can add CMD also. But based on requirement, we are going to add anyone. Clear? Whatever want, we can add it. But what is main difference? CMD and entry point both purpose is same only. Even if you add multiple CMD commands, only which is the last one, that one only we can see in the console while creating the container. And if you use both the CMD and entry point, and we can pass CMD instructions as argument to the entry point. That's it. This is the main point. CMD instructions will be passed as an arguments for entry point. So this is the one difference. This is the main difference. Okay. Remaining all CMD entry point both purposes same only. Okay. For practice purpose, here I added many example. Just whatever you want, we can copy and paste it first time. We can easily understand. Okay. Clear, Karthik? And so tomorrow, very very important, I am going to explain how to create Tomcat container and how to set that port numbers and that and all. So mostly in real time we are using Tomcat and all. I will show you.